How we doing, people? It's your boy Bry. We're here at the house and we've got a few days off. We've had a project we've needed to tackle for some time now, and it's called the Tacoma exhaust. And let's take a look at some of the parts on the Tacoma, and then we'll get back to the new parts. Let's take a look. So as you see, I got the Tacoma up in the air here. It's got a little bit of ground clearance already, but it's always nice to have a little more room. Let's walk you down through the situation, and we'll take a look at what we've got. Now, your boy Bryce said to himself, I know how this goes. You're going to change one part, and then you need to change the next one, and so forth. And you know, in all honesty, I have all the parts laid out here that I've removed, and they're good parts. They're quality parts. They're Toyota parts, and they're my parts. Let's just talk about exhaust for a minute. On your exhaust, if you have an engine light on your car and it's saying it's the O2 sensor, upstream, bank 1, etc., 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 I want you to understand it's not always that sensor. Where this gasket meets up onto the engine block and mates up against this is called your exhaust manifold. Let's take a look at it. This is a 2004, people. This is 21 years old. Let me get right down here and show you what I'm talking about. If you have a gasket compromised here and there's air sucking in from the outside, it's mixing with your exhaust, it will tell the O2 sensor that you are too lean, you have too much air, your fuel efficiency is not correct, and it will actually alter it in the ECU and cause it to dump more fuel in than you need. You can have a leak here, you can have a leak on any of your vacuum lines. It'll do the same thing. It'll cause a situation that says, hey, you've got a bad O2 sensor. That's all the computer knows to tell you. Now, is it a bad O2 sensor or is it a leak? What I did, as you see where it comes out of the exhaust manifold, you run into the catalytic converter flange. Now take a look at these gaskets. Again, these are 21 years old. The gasket's a little compromised. Now, we could be sucking air there as well. From the outside sucking, mixing in the converter, because what's supposed to happen, people, is just like an informal rundown. You're mixing your gas in the engine with your air. It's burning it off, and then the exhaust comes through your exhaust manifold, and it goes down through your tube to your catalytic converter. And when it hits this converter is very hot. It's like a glowing red ember inside there. Any unburnt fuel is supposed to cook off on that and exit and go into your post converter. There's another converter there. And behind that there is a section that you're not seeing here. I'm going to show you under the car, is your downstream O2 sensor. What that does is it measures how much heat you have here and how much heat you have down on the other end, and it determines if you have a lean or rich situation. So if you have extra air being sucked in a bad gasket or a bad gasket down here, you're going to mix too much fresh air with it, and it's going to say, hey, wait a minute, your burn ratio is not correct, you're too lean. And then you'll get a code on your vehicle. It could be running totally fine, but as you see, I've got a few items out here. The torch. The initial reason I wanted to change the muffler was the situation here. It was actually getting very loud. And as you can see, after 20 years, the back of the exhaust burned out. And the muffler's actually unserviceable. Let's take a look under the vehicle. I know you're going to want to see that. And we'll move these tools out of the way. But as you see here, let me show you. Here is your downstream O2 sensor. Now, I could not get those nuts off right there. I couldn't get these off. It was up in a situation that looked something like this. And actually it was turned like this. You really have no room to get to them. And they're on there pretty good because they're heated, as you can see. But that's your downstream O2 sensor. I plan on changing it. I've already changed the upstream O2 sensor. So that one there goes up underneath the carpet. To actually unhook it, I have to go pull the carpet up, unhook the sensor, and pull it down through the bottom of the floorboard. Now, as you see underneath this truck, we've got a little bit of oil here, and that is mixed with fluid film, but I have a valve cover gasket that's leaking, and while we've got this off, we're going to go ahead and change that. As you see, this is where the catalytic converter mounts up in here. You actually have quite a little bit of room. Now, under this rag, I have the upstream O2 sensor. That's actually new. We're going to leave that alone. And, of course, we're going to change all the gaskets as needed. But as you can see, we got a clear shot here all the way back. All the hangers are good. Everything is in great condition. As you see, the frame, these frames are known for rotting out, but your boy Bry puts fluid film on it twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And at the end of the day, we're trying to maintain it, people, because these Tacomas, believe it or not, they're pretty expensive if you got to go buy one. Even this used Tacoma, if you go look on Marketplace, $8,000-$9,000, you know. Now, shout out to my brother. He gave me this vehicle, my brother in Texas, and we really have been appreciating it. We've had it now, I think, for 3 or 4, maybe even, I think 4 years we've had it. But we're taking good care of it. We're maintaining it, and we're saying we're not going to just let it go to the junkyard. We're going to take good care of this, and we're going to honor that. But if you ever known about a little pickup like this, these little pickups are handy. They go down the road nice. They're very quiet. They handle nicely, and they're not going to do what a big truck like this is going to do. They're not going to tow a huge trailer. They're not going to do that. But what they are going to do is say, we're going to get you to the airport back and forth, seeing that you go to the airport every week. And we're going to do it, and we're going to do it nicely. Now, this truck, after I paint my 86 Dodge Ram, we're going to pull this in the shop, and we're going to actually paint this. Even though there's nothing really, there's a bunch of little dings on it from door dings and stuff, but the upper top part I kind of painted a couple years ago just to touch it up with a rattle can, just because it was starting to get surface rust. But we're going to actually do it correctly. We're going to get some epoxy primer, and we're going to do it right. But the other thing we have for this truck is we have a bumper. We're going to pull that all off. We're going to put a bumper on it. I got new bumper brackets, and we're going to go from there. But the situation is, let's take a look up in the engine bay. You can see the exhaust manifold studs are very nice. They have an actual star on the end of them. Let me bring you in there to show you. So they're very, very good shape. What I need to do is take a Scotch-Brite and clean up all that surface right there, where the gasket goes. I need to clean that all up, and I need to get it prepared so that we can put the new gasket set on, put the new catalytic converter on, and all that. We've got that whole setup. Now, I did look at the cat converter, and it didn't look dirty. It looks very clean still, so it's possible that this thing was just sucking air and throwing a code. But you know, your boy Bry's going to try to do it thoroughly, and he's going to say, let's get her done right the first time. Because if you're not getting her done right, you know what the deal is. You're not doing it. But the other thing is I've got to do is pull this. I've got to pull this valve cover off. It's leaking right here. It's leaking down, and it's running all over the exhaust and onto my driveway, which I'm not happy with that. So we have to correct that issue. I've got to go get a valve cover gasket, and I'm going to get a front pump, or excuse me, not a front pump, but a front, it's like where the timing chain cover is. There's where the crank comes through there. There's a gas or an O-ring or a gasket there. I got to replace that too. So we'll probably have the whole front of this vehicle torn apart right down to the core support. We're trying to do it right, and we're trying to say to ourselves, let's get this truck back up and running, because we need to get it fluid filmed before winter. And if you are laughing about me saying winter, it's right around the corner, people. Don't let this 75-degree sunny day fool you. It's coming. Let's take a look at some of the new parts that I've got that say we're going to try to get these put on properly. Take a look. So as you see, I've got the new catalytic converter right here. You can see the honeycombing. You can see inside there, it's very Let me get my flashlight because you need to see this. You really need to see this, people. Most catalytic converters, when you buy them, they have a gap around them, like they just shove a cone in there. And this one is very much formed. You can see it. And if you can see in there, it's formed right to the walls. There is no air gap around it. It's actually well built. I don't know if you can see that, people. But it's actually well built. And we've got the converter, the catalytic converter. And if you take a look at the welds actually look really good. I bought some exhaust parts in the past, and they're all crazy looking. But these actually look really, really sealed really good. And the plate looks good. I've got to do some fitment to it and take a look at it. Now, the only thing this doesn't have on it is the shield. And I may pull the shield off the other one and get some new stainless screws and secure it around there. Your other tubing that drops down is your secondary pipe, goes right here. And if you can see inside there, the same thing. It's all sealed right to the wall. That's your post converter, I believe, like a second converter. And it should have a bung welded on there. Oh, right here. Hold on. As you can see, this bung is welded on, and this is for your downstream O2 sensor. So we have everything. We have the new muffler, which is right here. Let's take a look. We have the brand new muffler that came with it. Now, I only paid, this is called a Brexhaust or BR exhaust. And I'll tell you what, I like the quality of it. It's actually a pretty good setup. Now, I did order these separately. This is for the intake, exhaust manifold. I ordered that separately. And it comes with a bunch of different hardware and bolts. But to be truthful with you, I don't know if I'll be using those hardware because a lot of the Toyota hardware is still good. Now, this is just surface rust. I did have this all taped off. But the other thing it gives you is the gaskets that go here. These lead crush gaskets, or I don't know if they're lead, but they're a soft gasket. And then this one goes on the catalytic converter. It goes here. Remember the ones I told you that were compromised? It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but those go on there. And then this other one here goes where the O2 sensor goes. So we've got all the parts. We're going to go ahead and start putting it in. But before we put it together, we have to change the valve cover gasket. I want to do that first because I have much more room in there to work. But that's the situation with the Toyota Tacoma. The other thing you want to look at, let's take a look at this. The other thing you want to look at, where your air breathers are. See this? You want to make sure none of this is cracked. Any of the seams are busted, because if that's sucking air too, it will throw a code on your MAP sensor, your mass airflow sensor. That's what that's called. But the other thing you want to check is your rubber boots to make sure there's no rips in the boots themselves. Where these flex areas are, you want to check those real good. And you want to make sure you got a good seal on everything. Other than that, that's what we're dealing with, people. We've got the old exhaust off. That was quite a little chore. I think I've got 3.5 hours in it. And your friend in that situation will be a Sawzall if you're not keeping some of it. Now, I cut strategically where I wanted to. Like, I knew I wasn't keeping certain parts, so I cut it above in front of the flange. Now, if I'm not going to throw this converter out because it's actually pretty clean. I don't know if you've seen this in here, but it's actually pretty clean. There's really not a whole lot of dirt in there, and I can't see the other side without a borescope, but I'm going to go ahead and cut these bolts and get this flange off there. And we're going to hold on to it because sometimes you never know. So you never know, people, what you may need or not need. But the tailpipe extension piece I can pull off, and all the rubber parts were good. This little tailpipe piece I'm going to take off. But other than that, the Tacoma's down until we get her fixed. So we've got to get the situation done. We've got it done right. But let's take a look back here. I know you're going to want to see something. This is where I had a little bonfire last night. And you say to yourself, my friend Bry, it's been very dry out. Why would you burn a fire? Well, that's precisely the reason. I had to put a little K1 kerosene on these stumps to try to get them burnt down. And I'll tell you what, this pile, let's take a look at it. This pile was twice as big. I don't know if you can remember that. That pile was twice as big. So one more good burn, and I think I'm going to go get some pallets today down at the local tractor supply store or farm store near me, and I'm going to get my excavator. We're going to stack these back up, and we're going to throw the pallets on there, and we're going to go ahead and torch this off again tonight. I need to get this burnt down so that I can come in here and get this leveled out. Now these logs here I'm going to cut up for firewood, but as you can see, these ones are pretty much burned up. Another good burn or two and I think they'll be gone. But scenario with that, and we're happy to say to ourselves, here's the situation you want to be happy about, that you can remember to get all your little equipment throughout the year started again, because you want to start them and get the gas running through them and change the gas out, because you don't want that to sit there and just turn into water and ruin your carburetors. But that's what we got going on today, and we'll get back to you with another video as soon as we get that exhaust back in. We'll show you how nice it runs. This is your boy Bry. I got to go.